Oh, hello there, and welcome to this zoo tour of Hagaparken's Haga Ocean and Butterfly House, or Fjärilshuset Haga Ocean. And I will not talk much about Hagaparken in this video, because I already have a video where I walked through Hagaparken. So this will just be the Butterfly House. Here we are arriving at the butterfly house, and I had no idea what to expect. Well, I did expect butterflies, of course, because it's a butterfly house, but it was quite a bit more than I thought. The entrance is around 28 euros for an adult and less for a child. And here I already saw a fish tank early on, and I was like, oh, this is not just butterflies. That's what they mean with ocean. And it wasn't just ocean either. But they indeed, of course, did have butterflies. They were free roaming in 2 of the 4 halls they had here. And now we are at a tank for large river fish from South America and Southeast Asia, fish that are often called river monster for how large they are, like pacus and gouramis, and of course catfishes. And the one that was easiest to recognize was of course the red-tailed catfish, because it has a very unique look. So you see a red-tailed catfish, you know it's a red-tailed catfish. But yes, this tank had a lot of really large fishes. And moving on from the river fish. Anyways, so this was really like a large tropical house. It was actually like they had a lot here, but the focus was kind of always on the butterflies, because there were butterflies flying around everywhere too. So it wasn't like they had forgot that they were a butterfly house, but they had a lot of terrariums, like for the North African spiny-tailed lizard. They had a lot of small terrariums for frogs. Usually you don't really see the frogs very well because they are small. There was some kind of poison dart frog I was able to see. I can't remember the species, and I didn't look at the sign from the sign, so it's a small poison dart frog of some type. But this was the tank for an African clawed frog, which is a very aquatic frog, so yeah. There, it has claws, and it's from Africa. And then they had a terrarium for the rhinoceros iguana, so pretty big lizard actually. And a little habitat for a pretty large tortoise, the African spurred tortoise. And yeah, this was another tortoise habitat, and I don't think I filmed the sign, so I don't really remember what it was for. Yeah, it was a tortoise. But next up we have a tank for axolotl. Axolotl are really funny looking amphibians that only exist in some parts of central Mexico. But butterflies were of course the focus, and you never had to look too far to see a butterfly. Sometimes you had to look a little bit up though, because they are flying, they could be above you. And sometimes if you looked up, you saw a bunch of them flying around. Now I am in the third hall actually, and here we had this kind of river system almost going through it, which had stingrays and other fish, but the stingrays were clearly the big star. Stingrays are so awesome actually. This is of course a type of river stingray, which is why it's in a kind of a river habitat. Yeah, I really like stingrays. Next up, we are looking at a small tank. It had an Oscar in it, and I was a little bit like, an Oscar might actually need a little bit more space than this. That might not be the most ideal tank for a fish of its size. And there was a big tank for cardinal tetras. And yeah, now I am at the habitat for the red-footed tortoise, which is a South American tortoise. But this is also where I realized in this hall there were free-roaming birds running around everywhere. This is a king quail, which is a small flightless bird from Asia. This very helpful sign helped me to identify the atlas moth, which I found very close to that sign actually. This is on the wall of the red-footed tortoise habitat where it just sat. And then there was the quails running around everywhere. These are pupae for the so this is where the butterflies are born, so to speak. Many of them. And this was the sign for the king quail, because now we are at their little nest, as in where they get their food and drink. And with that we are actually leaving the third hall behind us and entering the fourth and last hall, which is the really big ocean part of Haga Ocean, which has this huge tank. And while coral reef and tropical fish are always awesome, it got more awesome. They have sharks. They have two sharks, one of each kind, a blacktip reef shark and a sandbar shark. The sandbar shark, as I understand it, is the larger one. So, two types of sharks and one individual per type, so two sharks in total. But sharks are really awesome. This could also be a good place to start to ask the question, is it worth it to come to Haga Ocean Butterfly House? Is it something that you should visit if you visit the Stockholm region? And I say, if you're going to the Hagaparken anyway, yes, it's worth it. They have sharks, they have butterflies, sure. But otherwise, I don't know, there are maybe more interesting things in the Stockholm region if you are not going to the Haga area anyways. But they have sharks. That's always a good argument for everything. We also had a lot of smaller tanks in this hall. We are just going to blitz through them very soon. This is a tank for clownfish, so Finding Nemo infamy. And they had a lot of other tanks with coral reef and tropical fish. And this was for some kind of anemone, I think. Spiny little things. And they also had this tank that should be coming up now for the long spine snipe fish, which are bizarre looking things. But this is also after when I started to backtrack, go through all the halls again, and in the very first hall, when I was exiting, I saw this habitat I had missed for Herman's tortoise. But this is also the end of this tour, because this is where I exited the house. Bye!